So, Wonder Woman really is really good.
It is.
You should go see it.
Yes, you should. It's actually a good DC movie, as surprising as that is.
Yes, it's really, really good and definitely worth the ticket price. So,
1 out of 4.
yes, go watch this one. But we're not here to talk about Wonder Woman, as much as that would be pretty cool. We're here to talk about ponies. So, let's do this. Yes, welcome to Pony 411. This is episode 183 for the week of June 11th. I am Alca7raz, and with me is Nemesis.
Hey there.
Yes. Got another episode for you, as usual. Gonna talk about a few things. Start off with our normal bit of news. We got a comic to talk about, and a sort of little book thing that Nemesis here.
Sort of book thing, huh?
Yes, that's come out.
That's one way to put it.
It's a book, but it's not a storybook. Yes, Nemesis is going to talk about that, the Elements of Harmony Volume 2 thing that came out. And then we're going to talk about today's episode of Royal Problem. So, let's get to it. Oh, right, and we also have some fan content at the end, too. Can't forget about that.
But you did.
But I remembered. I remembered, and that's the point. So yeah, let's start off with the news. So if you like to follow along, and I recommend you do, you can find all of our show notes at pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Remember, that's LIBSYN. So go there, click the link for this episode, and let's get to this. In convention news, a new convention in Kansas City has popped up. It's Canterlot KC. It will be at the Doubletree Hilton in Overland Park, Kansas, and it will be taking place October 27th through 29th.
Not great timing there, guys.
Yeah, it's going to overlap directly with Nightmare Nights.
Which is just south.
Yeah, down in Dallas.
Not smart.
Not the greatest idea to overlap like that. You're going to hurt people.
First year convention going against, fifth year now?
Yeah, a very well-known one. It's going to hurt you. We wish them the best of luck, but that's not the greatest of timing.
No, it is not.
Equestria LA has announced, and possibly by the time you hear this sold out of, a special ticketed event. It is a day at Disneyland with Andrea Libman. So yeah, it's basically you buy the ticket and buy the event, and you get to spend a day around with Disneyland and, of course, staff members, because you can't go anywhere without them. Yes, that's interesting. I don't think we've had any conventions do something like that before.
Well, no conventions near Disneyland.
This is true. Equestria LA is right there.
Oh, they've sold one.
Sold
3.
one. Yes, I believe sponsors get special.
They got to go in first.
Yeah.
Tickets are on sale. They sold 1. There are 2 left at this point as of recording.
As of recording. Don't know if they'll still be there by the time you hear this.
I think it'll be a slightly higher price for other guests.
Yeah. It'll be a little bit more. But of course, if you have I think they said if you have a special pass already, you can get it discounted.
Yeah.
If you already have a pass, depending on if you don't have a blockout date or whatnot. But whatever, it's interesting. Check it out if you're interested. If you have the money and you're going and stuff like that. Galacon has released an animated promo for their upcoming con. It's
just a series of movie parodies.
Yeah, because it's also kind of the theme of this year's convention for them. It's movie theme. Ponyville Cider Fest has announced Nicole Oliver. High Roller PonyCon, the new one in Vegas, now has a room block code.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go click the link in the show notes to go to their site, or just go to their site and they'll have a room block code if you want to book a room there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like $89 a night.
Whew.
Plus, I think there's a $20 booking fee and then 12% tax because that's what happens at all hotels. But still, that's...
and apparently they just announced today, Ponyville Cider Fest announced Jay Fosgett.
Oh.
Just today.
Breaking news.
Not breaking. I think it was an hour ago. I just missed it, though.
It happens. So yes, Jay Fosgett as well as Nicole Oliver. But yes.
For Ponyville Cider Fest.
PhillyCon is rescheduling for 2018. So there won't be one this year, but there should be one next year.
Yep.
logistical stuff, if I remember correctly.
Logistics.
Logistics is always a fun one.
The funnest part of the convention.
That's like 90% of everything, too. Huh? So TrotCon has a few more announcements, including a Nerf battle event and some more community guests. Yes, the Nerf battle event, it's a battle for Bottle Cap Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that one's pretty cool. Going to be taking place multiple times during the
I believe
con.
so.
Yes. If you are a sponsor, there's a sponsor-only event for it as well.
Oh.
So you get in for free on that one. Everyone else, it's like a $5 entry fee. Yeah, if you bring your own blaster, there's a discount.
Oh, how about that?
Yep. Or they'll provide one. So that's kind of neat. And the community guests...
Who cares? They're not us. No, wait.
We've already been announced, so yeah, we don't care. But no, actually we do.
We're obviously the most important, and we're going to bring this garbage convention out from the depths, I guess. That's what's going on.
Or realistically, we're going to bring it down to ours. We're the garbage ones. We'll bring them down. Anyway, the other guests they have just announced are Fireteam Harmony, Da Things 1, Joe Dyer, Hobbs Maxwell, Wime Time, and Robin from My Little Robin does reviews. They're also going to bring in the Traveling Pony Museum, so that's kind of neat. They've also announced a bunch of other
musical guests
as well. There's stuff. Just click the link in the show notes that we keep talking about and get the rest of the information there. So yeah, bunch of announcements there. Out of convention news, the side-scrolling Equestria game has been updated again. That's a Flash-based one.
Yes. Version 0.5.
Yes, 0.5. I have no idea all the stuff that's been added because the update notes are in Russian and I can't read that. But yes, they keep updating it and adding a whole bunch of stuff. Also, Daydreaming Derpy demo has been updated as well. At a panel at BookCon recently, some more info about merchandise stuff connected to the upcoming movie has been talked about, because they had a bunch of stuff that they're talking about, including some more important details out of the rest of the stuff they talked about, because they talked about a whole bunch of stuff. In particular, though, the prequel comic series that's coming out.
Details
for
about
it.
that.
Yes, some more details, including like first issue is about the Storm King, then the second about the pirates, third about Capper, and the last one will be about Tempest Shadow. Apparently they tie in prequel backstory, stuff like that.
Hooray.
Yes. There's also a prequel novel that's apparently going to tie in with the comics a bit. And also a new book series called My Little Pony Ponyville Mysteries. It's a mystery series by Penumbra Quill. So yes, that looks a bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The Twilight Sparkle Little Golden book now has a cover, so you can go and check that out. The Magic Everywhere Equestria Girls book is now out.
That's the specials in book form, basically.
Yeah. A company called Disguise has announced their 2017 costume lineup, including ponies, based on the upcoming movie. Sort of.
Yep.
They call them, but that they're part of the upcoming movie, but most of them just use like the generic designs.
Oh well.
There is a Tempest Shadow though, so technically there is movie stuff in there.
There you go.
The Applejack and Daring Do Guardians of Harmony figures are now appearing in stores. Also, some new movie figures are appearing at some Targets, but since they haven't actually been put in their database properly, they're showing up on clearance immediately.
Whoops.
They may have that corrected soon.
Or have already done it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a thing.
Because no one buys Star Glimmer at full price.
Yes. Apparently, the new MLP toy sets will have a holographic seal of authenticity on the packaging now.
That's not hard to replicate.
It's a little bit harder.
This is a sticker on the package.
It's a sticker, but it's a holographic sticker, which is a little bit more difficult to make. Not much, but they're trying to combat
it's the same sort of thing that
knockoffs.
It's the same sort of thing like Nendoroids have. Knockoffs don't have it.
Yep.
Trust me, I know.
Yep. Entertainment Earth has listed a bunch of new stuff, including new FIM collection figures, Guardian of Harmony sets, and plushies, some of which now actually have images as well to go along with them. So yes, apparently Sea Pony plushies.
Yep.
Woo!
They can go with Marina.
Haha!
I have Marina, the Orca Pony.
Orca Pony, which isn't official. They don't exist.
But I have one.
But you have one.
It's like a unicorn.
Wait. What do you call rare things in an environment that already has unicorns? You can't call them unicorns.
Well, they're still,
It's not a unicorn anymore, because that's
like
not
seeing
rare.
a horse.
Isn't that just an earth pony?
No, that's a pony.
What about Troubleshoes?
He's still a pony.
It's like a Clydesdale, though.
But he's still a pony.
Anyway, Shout Factory is releasing a Fluttershy-themed DVD set on September 16th. It will include the episodes Green Isn't Your Color, Flutter Brudder, Buckball Season, Viva Las Pegasus, and Fluttershy Leans In. A preview for comic issue number 55 is up on iTunes. And a preview for the movie prequel comic number 1 is also up on iTunes. And getting into the end of our news, Daniel Ingram has been teasing a bit about the music in the upcoming movie. Apparently there's a lot of it.
He's doing all of it, remember?
Yes,
he's doing
there's
all
a
of it,
lot
not
of it.
just the vocal songs. He's doing all this music in the movie.
Also, I have no idea what instrument that was, that really low tone instrument that he took a quick recording of. Follow him on Twitter. He's tweeting a whole bunch of stuff.
Including food.
Apparently including food. Yum. Got it. They have to eat, too.
Barbecue from Nashville.
Liev Schreiber did some interviews about his role and more about the upcoming movie.
Yeah.
So,
including his other movies, though.
yes. So,
there's only a very small segment, and there's pretty much nothing new.
But it happened, so if you're interested. And unfortunately, My Little Pony did not win a Leo Award for the Best Musical Score.
Well,
because we were nominated for 2, and we only won 1.
Oh, well.
You win some, you lose some. Those in Canada with Rogers Cable apparently can get all currently aired Season 7 episodes on the Rogers On Demand streaming service.
Roger that.
Yes, but you do actually have to be a subscriber to Rogers Cable in order to get access to their streaming service. But if you do, they're up. And it looks like Australia might be getting episodes 12 and 13 this month via the Foxtel distributor, service. Apparently, they also spoiled most of the story in those 2 episodes.
Yeah, the most detailed synopses I've ever seen from a cable company or anything.
I have not seen them. I am avoiding them.
I didn't read them. I just looked at how big they were.
Yes.
They pretty much, my understanding is they pretty much just told us everything in a detailed, I guess, description of everything. I'm not sure why. It's been someone actually sat down and watched the whole thing and typed up what happened as it went.
Yep.
So the spoilers are out there.
Watch out for that spoiler.
One of the big one is the Applejack's Parents episode. That is one of the ones that was spoiled hard.
Yeah.
So it's out there, and there's a good chance that there will be possibly footage this month of those episodes, which are probably not supposed to air till like August.
Yeah, because that's after the mid-season hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yes, that is the news. It's a decent amount for 1 week.
A lot.
Yeah.
Actually.
However, it's time to move on to some discussion stuff. So first up, we're going to talk about a comic, Legends of Magic number 3. So get to it.
Right, Legends of Magic number 3 here. This one was written by Jeremy Whitley, with art by Brenda Hickey and colors by Heather Breckel. And once again, it's what's his face?
Sunburst.
Sunburst, yes. I actually forgot the second half. Anyway, Sunburst is reading another book, and it won't let him read until he actually goes outside and goes in the garden, because I guess Starswell's a jerk about that sort of thing. He's a jerk about a lot of things, turns out.
He's a jerk.
Turns out, yeah, Starswell wasn't such a great person.
He's kind of a jerk.
Anyway, it's a pony named Mistmane, who is apparently really beautiful or something and really powerful, and then, well, that's not where her story ended, because, well, people get old. And so she encountered them building a castle, and apparently they were encountering constant problems with it. And turns out, well, she meets Luna, and they find out what the actual problem is, because Luna's convinced it's some evil magic.
It's not.
Yeah, but the problem. They find the problem and find a way to fix it. It's an interesting little story. It's again, they're kind of finding a way to put the princesses in. Although this kind of creates a weird little continuity weirdness just because of what's going on. Because this is actually referencing Canterlot Castle and whatnot. So it's a little weird continuity-wise, let's just say that. So that's kind of I think the biggest actual problem with it. Just weird continuity stuff pops up. Other than that, it's a kind of decent story in of itself.
It messes with the timeline.
Ugh, do that again. But it's fine. It's a pretty nice little story.
It is.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it.
It's, again, I think the best one actually so far has still been probably the first one. But beyond that, it's actually it's a pretty solid one. It's
Yeah.
So I kind of liked it.
I'd say go and get it.
It's a definitely. I think it's a go ahead and pick it up if you want to, but it's not a rush out and go get it now type thing.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not the. The artwork's nice. There's some little bits here and there that are pretty nice looking. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Not the most amazing, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah. But that's not all you're going to talk about, right?
Nope, it is not. I also have a book
that we talked about. We mentioned.
Yes, The Elements of Harmony, Volume 2. The second half of the guidebook, because remember, the first one stopped at Season 3, because that's all that was pretty much out at the time.
Yep.
And things have changed, obviously, since then.
No, nothing has changed.
Yeah, it's just another thing. It's like the first one. It kind of opens with a nice little bit with art by Tony Fleeks, just about the original story of Twilight going to Ponyville and stuff in a little storybook form. Like they'd actually had at the beginning of the first Elements of Harmony, except that was the actual opening of the show. But they have that stuff. They have a bunch of character bios and whatnot as well, very short ones. And they also have synopses, or not, well, actual detailed descriptions for for every episode from all the way from season 4 through 6. And they also have song lyrics at the end for bunch of the season 4 and 5 and 6 songs. Here's the thing, most of this stuff in here, if you're already into this show as hardcore as most of this fandom is, you're going to know most of it already. There's some odd, there's like every single episode has a little friendship lesson blurb at the end, which sometimes is a quote from the episode, sometimes one they made up for it. That's like half the book is this stuff. There's, character and location descriptions and whatnot about and I guess also creature descriptions as well. Some of it is kind of, messy, editing-wise.
Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Rarity's Fashion Empire. There's a nasty typo there. There's some weird things and kind of like, what? That's not what happened. It's like strange. Like, I believe there's something here about Celestia that didn't quite
maybe
make
it did
sense.
happen and it's just Mandela effect.
Oh, there's one blurb, like, Princess Celestia. She recently used her leadership skills to improve the relationship between ponies and changelings. When? When did that happen?
It happened off screen.
I guess. That's not something we saw in any of those seasons.
Maybe it's a spoiler.
I don't think so, because there's nothing in here about season 7 at all. Still seems to think Diamond Tiara's a bad pony. Yeah, there's a lot of weird errors. There are errors, possibly hinting at possible things that might have been different at one point during development of these episodes. Like bit with Queen Chrysalis talking about, let's see, even as Twilight Sparkle tried to befriend her and show her how to lead her people with love.
Of course, you'll definitely look for that.
I would prefer that, but I would prefer it that way, but that's not what happened, and that's kind of factually wrong. There's a thing about Starlight, who's actually not under the main characters, thank God. She's not. She's under reformed rascals, as they put it. There's a sentence there. She's not the best magician in Equestria. Good enough for me! Yeah, at least she's... Because there's that whole thing about how they're treating her magic lens. But anyway, she's not the best.
She's not the best.
Not the best. There, canon.
Yes, but apparently it doesn't matter.
It does matter. Shut up.
Because
it matters to me. Keep your mouth shut and let me have this. Anyway, the book costs $17.99 US. $18 because it's hardback.
$599 US.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's kind of weird to say whether or not it's written by Brandon T. Snyder and with Natasha Levenger.
So no names.
Yeah, no names. It's hard to say whether or not I can recommend this. I mean, again, most of the stuff you're gonna know.
But you might just like it in
There's
hardback
little
format.
details here and there with the it's a nice, again, it's a nice little reference. Like, I don't remember that. Let's look it up real quick.
Of course, you can also just go to the wiki.
Yeah, there's that too, but that's the fan wiki. It's gonna have probably
okay. The show staff has actually mentioned that they use the fan wiki sometimes.
Which isn't good. It's actually not a good thing.
It's not a good thing, but it's kind of interesting to think about.
Any which way, it's weird. It's like, if you're a collector, yeah, sure. If you just want a quick reference thing, literally that's what it is. Yeah, there's a couple little weird mistakes here and there. there's some little insights that may or may not actually be true. There's nothing in the show to disprove it, but there's nothing. It's kind of almost seems like the author kind of inferred it. So it's interesting. It's kind of hard to say whether or not it's nice. It's well made. It's just there's weird editorial stuff, and a lot of it's just kind of we know that already.
Yeah, so it's really whether you should get it or not depends on what you're looking for. What are you looking to get out of it?
If you just really want a book that's like really quick to just pick up and find out, look up stuff real quick, fine, yeah. Or if you just want a companion to the first one, sure.
Yeah, or just collecting things, then yes. But if you're looking for anything new and insightful,
there's
and
nothing new.
Big,
Here, really.
There's really nothing.
It's almost nothing new. I think there's like maybe a couple sentences like, oh, I didn't know that, or it's just, but there's a couple sentences like, wait, what? That doesn't actually line up with what we know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they also called they used a vector of Spitfire and called her Blaze. Oops.
Yeah, first we confused Blaze as Spitfire, and now they're confusing Spitfire as Blaze.
Oh well.
Guess we got to balance it out.
So so if you want a reference guide, or just go ahead and get it. But if you're looking for something brand new, you're not going to find it here.
Yeah. Moving on to our main discussion, we're going to talk about the episode for this week. It is A Royal Problem.
Yep.
So, yes, quick synopsis. Map calls Starlight to Canterlot for a problem. She goes, turns out the problem is between Celestia and Luna. And they're just not appreciating each other and getting angry at each other, so she swaps their cutie marks so they can walk a day in each other's shoes. They do so. Or night, yes. And they realize, yes, their jobs are actually a lot harder than they thought they were. Then they realize, all this, and they make up, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary, I think.
Summarizes everything.
Yep.
Leaves enough to us to talk about.
So, overall, on this episode, I think overall, I do enjoy this one. I do think, even with some of the issues that we're going to bring up later on, I do think overall this is a good episode. We got to see more Celestia and Luna. We've been asking for this for a while. It's nice to actually finally be able to get it with some caveats. But yes, we did finally get a Celestia and Luna episode that actually showed us more about them and their relationship. So, yay, we finally got it.
Yeah.
So yes, this episode, though, it was a Starlight episode.
No, the Celestia and Luna episode with Starlight.
With Starlight, but yes, it did have Starlight as a important character. And yes, and we're not exactly Starlight fans, so that was a bit of a detractor for us on that one. But I do think it was still pretty good past that.
All right, so here we go. Full disclosure, we actually recorded for this before, but things went wrong, and so this is actually the second time we watched it and talked about it, and so it's been a bit of time since then, so it's not as raw.
It's not quite a first impression.
It's not as raw as the first time around. So some things, things that you will never hear because technical problems. So here's he has heard them, so he knows. Here's the thing. I've cooled down a little bit. I'll say something that might surprise a lot of you, and it's Starlight's not as bad as she's been before. Okay?
Yes.
It's hard for me.
It is. I know it's hard, and you're struggling physically with it.
Starlight's not as bad as she has been. She's still not great, mind you, but she's not actively horrendous. Okay?
Yes. On the Starlight topic.
It's not all whatever that was. Oh crap! It's not every little thing she does. It's not that. We have not had that, thankfully, since then. Although I'm a little worried just because of Vogel, because he did write that.
He did write that. I'm a little worried. We said in that episode, I think stuff happened during that episode that made it end up being that, and it wouldn't originally have been that if things didn't happen. I'm hoping that's what it was, so we won't have that issue.
Yeah, but I still will say the single, I think, biggest problem regarding Starlight, this is the biggest one with which is the map thing. I don't feel like that should have been done that way. That's all of a sudden just drag Starlight into this, because that feels to me it should just be the main six. Yeah, even Sunset, if she showed up, she shouldn't get a map thing either.
Yes, and I think I do think I agree with you on that one. The whole having Starlight be called by the map. I think the reason behind that issue, we both kind of match that one. At least for me, I can't really speak for you, but I want to say it's probably the same. We'll find out. I think it's because when we got the map, when the map was originally made, it was because of the actions and the result of the actions of the main six.
Yes.
The main six came together and they figured this thing out about themselves and all that sort of stuff, and they were given these keys and these powers, and this castle was made for them. The whole castle and everything was made for them. They got their own thrones with their own emblems. It was them. It was theirs. It was built for them. So it was very much this, the Council of Six, of the Friendship Council of Six.
And a half, because of Spike.
With plus Spike.
And a half.
And it was all about them and them finding friendship and becoming the friendship ambassadors. So now we've added Starlight onto this somehow. Is now being used.
Because...
And it's like, wait a minute, I thought we played this up as being part of the six.
Yeah.
Starlight's not one of the six.
Even Spike hasn't really gotten, because first, how would you show Spike? Would you show Spike fire or something?
Spike doesn't have a cutie mark.
Yeah, so, but anyway,
he's
Spike
small enough, it just picks Spike up and hovers him around. Just pick, he's small enough.
Yeah, but, it is my problem. It's just simply, it's kind of like awkwardly stapling Starlight onto it. It's like, it's like, oh, we have this poster that's awkward.
Yeah, and that's where I am with that one. It doesn't really fit. Although, I think the reason on this one, and yes, the first time we recorded this, I did bring this up again. I think it's less, because one thing we've brought up a few times, that we've mentioned in previous episodes, that we've felt like, and you've said it more than I am, that Starlight feels forced in, that they're pushing Starlight.
I'm sure if I said on the podcast itself, but square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, but you feel like they keep trying to push this on. Please like Starlight. Please like Starlight. Here's more Starlight. You want... I don't think this is a case of that.
No. This one just feels like this was
I feel like this was... They had a story. They wanted us to go a certain way. And Starlight, they felt, was a tool that they could use, a workable tool. And they wanted to use Starlight because she was a tool that fit this problem. Yep. Cool. She fit... Yes, and calling Starlight a tool. But, in the same vein, I'm saying all the characters are tools. They each have their own... Yes, because it's not that kind of tool. It's like, you look at this and we have... Every character has their own thing about them. Yeah. They all have their own personalities, their own things they're good at, things they're not good at, things they struggle with, things that they can work with. And they act as tools to progress a story. Tools you can use to fit into a story, and Starlight has her own now that is actually unique. At least some things. I would like some more things, but she does have some things that are unique to her. And I feel that the writers, in this case, had a story and felt like Starlight was a proper tool to use. And I think for the most part, she was. I think I would have done things differently, but I still think she was a proper tool to use.
Yeah, in a sense.
And I think that's what that was here.
Absolutely had to use Starlight because of whatever reason. Whatever reason it is. I'm not going to even get into that. Whatever reason it is. If they absolutely had to, I think setting it up like this was probably just kind of not the best way to set it up. Because, again, it breaks things.
Yeah, and I think that's just we have this establishment of what the map is.
Even if they had to set it up so Starlight meets the sisters, it should have been something like, even if it's just she's in Canterlot for some reason or another.
Yeah.
It just she's visiting, or she just wants, maybe she was like literally just she wants to see Canterlot. She wanted to see Canterlot. She's in Canterlot. She kind of gets to meet them because she's associated with Twilight. And hey, she notices the problem. Then she contacts Twilight, and then you could have things go as they were.
Yeah, although I do think one thing, these are the royal sisters. They are authoritarian. They have this thing, and it's really hard to bring things up to them and confront them on issues. So I do believe that using the map, it gives authority to Starlight because the map has called her to fix a problem.
I don't think you really need to give Starlight authority in this. The way they've presented her, she's kind of blunt and doesn't really pay attention to such things. But
it does give her authority with the princesses.
However, they kind of, as you notice, their reaction they didn't really acknowledge that authority because they were immediately like, oh, no. It's like, and then, excuse me?
Yes.
So I think authority in this case is kind of irrelevant.
I think it's one of the reasons why they did it, and then they didn't use it. But I think that's why they chose the map, because it does give Starlight the authority to confront
So they did
a
something
princess,
they didn't need to do.
which is not the first time it's happened.
Yeah. There's also that
But
thing
I think that's what it
regarding
was.
said thing that when she fixed it, I guess, well, they fixed it when she was there. When it was all said and done, their cutie mark switched back and stuff. They had this weird line about it where it's like,
there was a weird disconnect.
Earlier they had the thing about, it lasts for 24 hours, which at that point in time was about 24 hours because she cast in the morning and then this next day, and now suddenly...
there was that weird it lasts for 24 hours and then the cutie mark switches like I'm not doing this.
They forgot that. It's like they forgot that line or something.
Yeah, I think they just forgot that part when they wrote it. It's super minor.
By the way, this is Lewis and Sonko.
Yeah.
Just to mention that.
Yeah.
So the story enders of this one. So,
But yeah, I think they just forgot that one. That was a weird little disconnect. It is super minor. I mean, heck, you could have just removed that second line. I'm not doing this. If you just removed that line, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or just change it to, it's been 24 hours, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why they did it. I don't like that they did it, but I can see why they did it. But I also can see why they didn't need to as well, because I think they did it and then didn't need to. But
I have no problem criticizing him because, well, I can say I don't like the way you did it. I think it wasn't done as well as it could have been.
I think there's one other scene.
Especially since I'm offering alternatives.
There's one other scene that I'm not a huge fan of how it was done, and I would have done differently. There's probably a couple of scenes, but another one in particular was when Starlight swaps the cutie marks.
Right.
That one. The princesses start arguing, and Starlight just goes, enough, and swaps them right there. And then tries to excuse herself. I would have done it a little bit differently, because I don't... I think it would have helped Starlight's personality too, because I think I'm not a huge fan of her over-impulsiveness, I guess, in this use of magic. Although, I mean, I can't say that might be their intention, that's her problem, that's one of her things. Which
they've now acknowledged and still won't actually address.
It's one of those, it's like, it's okay to give them problems, but please, if you're going to give them problems, show that they're working on their problems, and not just give them problems that no one actually tries to work on.
And then just give them a free pass.
Yeah.
Like we've had Dash has had problems, and she's actively fixed them as the series has gone on.
Yes, and that's fine. That's actually good story writing.
Yes, those characters have had, all the main six have had problems that they've all actively addressed as time has gone on. With Starlight, they seem to have gone a full season and a half now while acknowledging the problem, just not really doing anything about it. Just kind of is stagnating, and it's like, this is a little frustrating to see a character refusing to grow.
Sort of, yeah.
Because she knows it's a problem. She refuses to do anything about it.
Yeah, I want to see more acknowledgement and correction of this, have her work on it. Maybe not succeed all the time, but still work on it. We've been sort of seeing hints of it, but never as much. But the way I probably would have done that scene there would be when she says enough, because they're fighting. She just uses like telekinesis to grab them and stop them. And then offers that. And say... or just bring up the idea right there of swapping roles, and have them use since they're bickering at that point, use your job's easy. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. And then have Starlight go, all right, I'll do it.
Drop the impulsive part then.
Yes. I would have had her not be super impulsive. And then later, her discussions with Twilight, have her bring that up and say, good job. You're working on that. I probably would have done that a little bit differently that way. Maybe not exactly, but something less I'm just going to do it. Because I don't like seeing this constant problem that we're never addressing of her. I would have liked...
bring up that is a problem, then actually not do anything. That's what they're doing. Is they bring up as a problem and then never actually do anything about it. When other characters, they bring up as a problem, let's fix it.
Yeah, this could have been an opportunity to show that she's working on her impulsiveness. Over-impulsiveness.
Anyway... Going to the sisters now. I loved them in this.
Yes,
they were great.
They were
perfectly great. Again, Starlight. But those two were great. Lots of things about them. Just the general fighting stuff is very, well, sibling-like.
Yes.
So that was nice to see. I liked Luna coming in and biting the pineapple the first time, and the second time
Just
coming in
eating
with
the
the banana peel
peel.
and just eating that instead of the banana, while tossing the banana somewhere. So I wonder if that's curious. Can you slip on the banana instead of the peel?
I'm certain you can.
Must be tested for, or it would just be mush. Or you just mush it. Oh,
It'll be slimy mush, so you could probably slip on it.
depends on how rotted it is. Anyway, but I liked that. I liked they're kind of making passive aggressive remarks at each other and just side glares and stuff.
Yeah, the stereotypical sibling bickering.
Yeah. I think the appreciation thing, why they're bickering, is kind of a little weird, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. It's like kind of the appreciation thing, just because that was kind of the whole central thing. You'd think they'd avoid that, but of the original Nightmare Moon thing, that was kind of the whole central thing of not being appreciated. So you'd think they'd try to avoid that a little bit more, but
Maybe. I mean, they had 10,000. They had
10,000 years.
10,000
Time to conquer Earth.
years. Give you such a crick in the neck. But yeah, they had 1,000 years of separation, but it was 1,000 years of separation to never really work on their issues. So they came back and they never really.
But the thing is,
working on them.
But I think you at least Celestia kind of at least knowing full well what happened, just kind of at least occasionally goes, good job, good job. I don't know what you did, but good job.
I think it's more that she just, she's so tired and work, she just doesn't notice. She didn't just straight up didn't notice.
I feel some days it's probably at least bickering about something else a little bit.
I don't know. I think a lot of some of
Even
that
if
was
it's just not necessarily about the appreciation. Just I think my job's harder. No, my job's harder. Or even it's literally just a bet, but my job's harder.
I don't know. I do think that may have been a little compressed for time.
Yeah, it's probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those two are actually just a lot of fun. It was also fun seeing Nicole Oliver get to be evil with Daybreaker.
So yes, let's talk about Daybreaker. Because we haven't actually got to that yet.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that was great. Kind of weird. Just kind of the design was interesting. Very angular.
Very angular.
Lots of jagged angles and stuff. Because I remember that was the whole thing. What would you call evil Celestia? Because there's
Nightmare
Moon,
Star?
Yeah, Nightmare Star, Solar Flare.
Those are the two ones that we've seen before. No, Daybreaker. That's a pretty good name, though. I do say it's a pretty good name.
Might have come from weird source.
Actually, I think we've pretty much the comic fan comic. I think we've pretty much come to the conclusion that the comic artist got a hold of information. I think that's pretty much
things. Well, time to start grilling him.
Yeah, because especially with knowing the name and those episodes, the writing is done almost a year ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. That artist knew things.
He somehow knew things. So
especially considering they started hiding information once people started catching on.
Suddenly stuff randomly being deleted and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
They put it back, but yeah, this is one of those you knew, and you try to hide.
You knew something somehow. Now we must find out how. Internet detectives.
They work for animation studios in the area.
Now we also find out what else they know. What do you know about AJ's parents?
Oh yeah, we have to wait for the hiatus for that one.
Right, but that was the Daybreaker thing. It was all in Starlight's dream thing, which, granted, it's like simple thing is Starlight. This isn't real.
Sometimes though, it's hard to get out of that, especially if it's like a night night terror or something like that.
But it's just kind of Starlight. This isn't real.
It's not real.
Look at me. This is not real.
This isn't real. You can control this. This is a dream.
Wake up. Wake up right now. Oh. Of course she goes, yeah, it's just... Also, bringing over Luna from her dream, which is, like, interesting in of itself.
Her dream was creepy.
Teeth falling out.
Teeth falling out. That's just...
Although,
geez.
The children chanting was weird, because, like, you're expecting a rhyme, and it doesn't rhyme, and it's like... It makes you kind of...
That was the point.
I know, it just makes you stutter for it doesn't rhyme. And then gross pancakes again.
And then gross pancakes. Luna tried.
These taste awful.
Counts.
These taste like horse apples. Somewhere Applejack feels offended.
Well, she uses it as a.
That's horse apples. Pony feathers.
Horse apples. Pony feathers. You think Pegasi would get upset about that? What's wrong with pony feathers?
You. What's attached to them? Oh.
That's racist.
Oh, no. What have I done? Oh, well. What was it I was thinking about with Celestia and Luna? There was something else. Oh, just the general thing with the Luna and Celestia's trips through their days, or their, I guess, shifts.
Shift is a good word.
Because, like, we see Luna first in the day and stuff, and having to go out and smile and wave, and just smile and wave. And then cutting ribbons with... That
dull
was not
scissors.
Luna, that was not Luna's fault. That's just someone did not sharpen the scissors properly.
That's when you use your magic to separate it underneath the scissors and let no one know.
Or she did, just break it.
Just break it.
Also shouting, there's no Timberwolves.
There's no... but there is!
And just the general your Celestia's day is really packed with weird stuff.
It's...
And the scowl.
This
That scowl just...
face hurt.
And just, I guess, snapped down really hard.
Yep.
And then, yeah, that's also like the Celestia just kind of going a little crazy because she's all alone. And starts talking to herself.
Yeah, I think that was Celestia's biggest thing was you have to do this all by yourself. Celestia's used to being constantly surrounded
By others.
by everyone, constantly talking to her.
By
Now,
yourself?
by yourself, the silence is deafening.
Oh, yeah, so... And then go, oh, wait, I don't have to be alone. Dreams.
Haha, I can talk to people while they sleep.
Yeah, in the dreams, and then we saw some little things, including possibly a preview of something we might see in an upcoming certain AJ episode with the parents and stuff.
Yeah.
We also saw some dumb references, but those aren't important.
There was a Weeping Angels reference.
Lame.
Yep.
Lame.
There was also Twilight and Rainbow Dash flying.
Whose dream was that?
I don't think it matters.
But whose dream was it? It
It
doesn't
could've
matter
been.
to someone.
Maybe they were having a connected
Turns out it was
dream.
Rarity's dream.
She would be the shipper.
Anyway, which way, there's other better ships, obviously. This is where they could have actually inserted in a... Now I'm thinking about it, they could have inserted a blatant little reference to Sunset and the Equestria Girls.
They could have. They could have got away with
Twilight
it there.
dreaming about, hands at the end of my hooves, no!
Oh, no!
They could have interested in something there. But, yeah, they also had Muffins as the, I guess, queen of muffins or something.
Derpy on the throne.
Yes, Muffin Queen, I guess. Yeah, so those were little interesting little things. There's also, I guess, Cadence and Flurry.
Yes, DJ Flurry Heart.
Oh, no. Gonna ruin that, too? Just plugs an iPod and press play. Because she ruins everything. Yeah, there was all that stuff. I'm trying to think. The cutie marks, the swapping, because before it was just the moon before. Now suddenly it's the whole thing.
Yeah, her ink splotch too.
So I guess now it's okay. So now that is the whole cutie mark. Oh, okay,
All right.
sure. Let's do that. And Twilight was in this episode fairly frequently.
Twilight was also in this episode.
She was in there fairly frequently. She more or less had the same reaction I did to Starlight being on the map, because
it broke her.
Big frown. Like, are you kidding me? That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. We already covered that. But there's also there's people. I guess people started calling her Twilarina.
Oh yes, because
She was on the music box thing.
she was a ballerina on the music box.
Which she wasn't actually there. She was projecting.
Projecting. What kind of projecting?
Not like presidential kind of projecting though.
Haha.
Ha!
Ha.
Yeah, so she was kind of offering advice here and there with Starlight, but she was kind of panicking because, well, it is kind of a big deal if they start fighting again.
It is kind of a big deal, but
and Twilight is
also
right
panicked.
about that. It is, because the last time they fought,
Last time they
it
fought,
went really bad.
yes.
So it's understandable why Twilight would be a little concerned. So I can't hold that against her, really. And Twilight is still prone to panicking here and there.
Yep.
Again, though, she is able to calm down and it's fine.
It's fine.
But then at the end, just tell me everything.
Tell me everything. That was great when she just drug Starlight off. Just Starlight's expression, just annoyed, but probably not the first time this has happened.
Starlight should not be annoyed.
Just like, this again.
Starlight, get over yourself. But what was it? Was there anything else really?
We talked about Starlight.
Yeah.
We talked about Twilight. We talked about
the sisters.
The sisters. We made sure we mentioned Daybreaker.
Yeah, Daybreaker was mentioned. Nightmare Moon is there too, because Daybreaker versus Nightmare Moon.
Yes.
So we've now seen most of the evil Alicorns in some way, shape, or form.
Yes,
Although one of them, some we've only seen in human form. Although there have been plenty of.
Yes, and the interesting one, Midnight Sparkle was a different Twilight as well.
Yeah, that's too. But
so that's a little weirdness there.
That does imply that Twilight could become Midnight Sparkle. You just got to push her. I'm not sure how to push her exactly, but you got to do it somehow.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have Nightmare Moon, who's driven there by grief, or not really grief, but jealousy. Yeah, basically. So Nightmare Moon is born of jealousy.
Daybreaker, although this Daybreaker is in Starlight's mind, so that might not be
true. Might not be true, but it seems to be...
there was just power.
A sort of power and more arrogance.
Yeah.
The I don't need you.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Twilight was knowledge. She just wanted to know more and didn't care how she got it.
Yeah, more power. That was power and knowledge, and the power from knowledge from that one.
I want to know how magic works.
That was also sci-fi, so
so but they're pretty similar.
It would be somewhat similar for Twilight, probably.
We also saw in the comic when Twilight went evil, Princess Twilight went evil. Her thing was knowledge and stuff. So
yeah.
So what would Cadence be?
Hatred, if you want to go opposite. If you go opposite, but if you want to match close, you'd have to match towards love.
You'd have to have a corrupted love, which is kind of already Chrysalis in a sense.
Sort of. Either that, or you do something that they wouldn't actually be able to put in the show.
Oh, geez. Flurry Heart's already evil, so...
Yeah, we'd have to find a good version of Flurry.
Yeah, that's the thing. Flurry Heart's already evil and ruins everything, so
what's a good version of Flurry? It's like Flurry, but without wings or a horn.
Flurry without a horn.
One of the two.
Flurry not ruining everything.
But yeah, it would be interesting what Cadence is. Nightmare evil. Cadence.
Nightmare, whatever that would be.
A Nightmare Cadence. Eek.
Would Lonely you be Heart.
Able to... What?
Lonely Heart. Why not?
Nah, you have to... One of her
basic... That's exactly what they'll use in like 2 seasons.
You have to take a personality aspect of them and advance it into
How about
evilness.
grief?
Grief?
Shining Dice. That's what breaks her.
I guess.
Because it's kind of somewhat associated with love, because you have to love
something.
Sort of,
but it's got to...
You have to love something to be able to experience grief if it's a loss.
Maybe.
That's what you call a loss.
You had to do it, didn't you? Could this be a defeat?
Anyway. Yes. Beyond that, though, it was, yes, I'm not going to call it the best of the season just because I think Starlight is enough of a detriment to prevent that.
Yeah, I'd still keep it on the positive side. It was
still overall a fun episode, even with the negative.
Yeah.
But I would not call it the best.
I wouldn't call it the best either.
I know
but
a large chunk of the fandom are calling it the best.
Yeah, and that's fine. And personally, in this episode...
My opinion, actually, Parental Guidance is the best so far.
It was a good episode. Even though I do have one big detractor on it, so I could see it getting lowered if another one does really good.
There's something, a couple of things coming up, though, that I'm really excited for, so hopefully one of those really knocks it out of the park.
Yeah. But I do still think this was a fairly decent episode, and I personally can overlook some of Starlight's flaws on this one to keep the episode up, because I do think this had a lot of good to it.
It did.
I mean, we had an epic fight scene between 2 epic characters.
Although that one, again, that could have been just fixed by, hey, it's not real.
But then we wouldn't have had the good... I can forgive the...
You can forgive that if you get something cool out of it.
I can suspend my disbelief because we got something awesome instead.
Yeah, I get it.
So...
Yeah,
I'm fine with not
I'm not
doing
totally
that.
cool with the vehicle they had to deliver it with it, but
I can understand the vehicle. Though.
I can understand too. It doesn't mean I like it.
So
just because I understand it doesn't necessarily mean I have to like it.
Yeah. So I can overlook any issues, most of the issues with Starlight on this, and I don't think it was all that bad to begin with either. Like I said, I can understand why she was used. I think some things could have been done differently, but it still worked. It did. It could have worked better, but
I think my preference would have still been
work.
No one else but Twilight or Celestia and Luna. Just those 2 in general. But
Yeah, you would have had to change a lot
more
of
screen
things.
time for the two of them.
Yeah, it would have been nice too.
I think that might have been preferred way, just how they would have had to have done it. But
I would have liked to
what's
see
done
how
is
they
done.
figure out how you have got Daybreaker in just between those two. You'd have to have
Essential,
what?
Essential or whatever.
Sensual.
Whatever, those people. Raven, that one who seems to be helping Celestia a lot. She's having the nightmare because she sees them bickering.
I guess, but it depends on how you go about it.
Yeah. Like I said, I would do it differently, but what's done is done.
Yeah, I still think what we have actually works, and it works well
Mostly
enough.
fine.
So
Mostly fine, although some significant issues. That's that.
That is that. Moving on to what fan content we have. I don't actually have any music this week. Again. I'm sorry.
You get on my case about not having fanfics multiple weeks in a row.
Yes, it doesn't happen very often. There hasn't been a huge amount that I've seen come out this week. There has been some, and it's been good. I think people are prepping for the upcoming Ponies at Dawn album that's in the works.
Yep, that's coming.
So that might be why people are making music to go to that, so it's not out yet. And then I'm just going to get hit with a giant dump of awesome music. So
you're only allowed to feature 3.
I'm both looking forward
Actually,
to
no,
and
I'm
dreading
special
that.
rule, only 1.
No! I usually do that. I usually stick to 1 from an album. But I may have to break it for Ponies at Dawn because of how big it is.
Never.
Anyway, like I said, I don't have any music, but you have fanfics.
Fanfiction! Alright, yes. Update. First off, Enchanted Library, 4 new chapters, which means also book 1 is complete.
Hoo boy.
Lots of stuff revealed over the course of these 4 chapters.
Big things.
Yes, also, bit of turmoil.
And big things.
Yes, big things. Big revelations. Because it's the end, I'm not going to spoil them, but they are very big.
Big. And I'm freaking out.
And implications, because, things are set up for the next few books. So there's that. And my featured, though, is actually very short. It's called One Last Act of Tragedy by Majin Seiko. Seiko. Sure.
Majin Saiko?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're probably butchering it.
It's very short. It's literally less than 2,000 words long. It's interesting.
It's not a story. It's the additions or the errata and stuff.
It's an alternate universe. It's Twilight. Let's just say the fight with T-Rex went differently than what we saw in canon in this universe. Very differently. And Twilight's dealing with the fallout much later in life. So that's what it's about. It's a very interesting little look at that.
Yeah.
And kind of how she reacts differently as time goes on.
Yeah, the structure is interesting. It's different and interesting.
Yes. Interesting, so that's why I kind of want to feature. And of course, Daily got to it before I could because of recording schedules.
Happens.
But I saw it first. Right.
Or they did, but it took time to get through their system.
No, the way they do fanfics.
Not that it matters who get it.
Oh, by the way, also FimFiction did update their look, and it's mostly fine. Just I do not like how they're handling character tags now.
Yeah,
it's not good.
The tag system.
That is switching from portraits to text was not a good idea, guys.
Mixing in the characters with the other tags makes it hard to find what you're looking for.
Yeah, much more difficult. And apparently this is prep for their eventual, they're going to do their whole general fic thing. They're going to be switching over to a general fandom fix for multiple fandoms eventually, and that's 90's plan, apparently, even though a lot of the site really doesn't want that.
Yeah. Doing
well,
a
not
format
quite switching. Apparently
change.
what they're doing is adding another site, and this is going to be still its own thing, but they're using the back end to they're doing their own thing.
Okay.
But the problem is they just want to be able to take the entire design, plug it over, and they don't want to do character tag portraits for everything. So they're going to remove those entirely and just go to text only.
I don't know why you'd have to merge them to do that, but whatever.
The character portrait was really helpful. Now that they changed it over, it's kind of it takes longer to browse through stories. My little nitpick there. That's the only thing I really find a problem with design-wise.
Right. So yeah, that's the fanfics. We do however, have some animations to talk about. That was unenthusiastic.
Yep.
So yeah, first one, Another Friendship is Manly animation came out, and this one's very heavily JoJo-based. Phantom Friendship.
Yep. Trixie and Twilight fight.
Yeah, it's a fight. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. First time they're actually not shirtless.
Surprisingly. But yes. And the other one is interesting. It's a trailer, an animated trailer for The Mayor Who Once Lived on the Moon fic that we featured a while back. And it's kind of neat. I liked it.
It's actually pretty cool looking, but just remember, this is a trailer for something that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, it's a trailer for a fiction.
Yeah, but it's not a trailer for
It's not a fiction for an animation.
So something that doesn't
exist. It's an animated trailer for a word story, not a image story. For a fanfic.
Eloquently put.
Thank you. I try. So yes, that's all we got. Hope you liked what you heard. If you did and you would like to listen to our other episodes, you can find all of our episodes past, future, present at pony411.libsyn.com. Just go there, find them, download them. You can also find us on iTunes. Just search for Pony411. You'll find us there. Subscribe to us. Get it all auto-download. Go rate us there. Give us 5 stars or whatnot. You can also find us on Stitcher. At Stitcher.com or use one of their mobile apps. Just search for us, Pony411. We are also on YouTube. YouTube.com/Pony411. Find all of our episodes there. Go like them, subscribe to us, and comment on the videos. We will read those. We're also on Ponyville Live. It'll update whenever our YouTube updates, so if you look at other stuff on that site, you can find us there. We also air on Ponyville FM every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, so tune in then. We are also on Google Play. Just go search for us, find us, download the episodes. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can email us. We are pony411podcast@gmail.com, so send us comments, criticisms, suggestions. Tell us we were wrong about this episode. Tell us we were right. Or somewhere in between. Doesn't matter.
I'm always right.
No, you are not.
Always right.
You can also find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/pony411. Go like our page there. We'll post stuff there when stuff happens. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at Pony411. So follow us there. See us tweet us. It's the best way just to say hi or whatnot. Quickest way, at least. So yes, you can also find our personal accounts on Twitter. I am at Alca7raz with a 7 instead of a T and an underscore at the end, and he is at Nemesis Prime 1.
Yes.
So yes, go watch us tweet about Wonder Woman.
Megazord!
Or toys.
Megazord. Yeah. My inner 5-year-old is satisfied.
Yes. Yes.
Hell, my 29-year-old self is satisfied.
So yes, that's the end of the episode. Hope you liked what you heard, and I hope you keep listening to us.
Yes, next week will be not asking for trouble.
Yeah.
The mid-season finale.
The mid-season finale. Hoo boy. So yes, until then, though, remember, please, pony responsibly. See ya.
Goodbye.